Hello, I'm Wade Henderson, and this is Delta Hands, conversations with our neighbors who create visual art. In this edition, we'll meet someone who guides and delights the eye with design and color in masterfully created stained glass. We'll hear why and how a Lafayette artist has painted hundreds of murals in dozens of cities. And we'll see the work of a Baton Rouge artist who captures an intensity that inspires a new perspective. Our first conversation is with Ellen Caillouet, who loves her work. She loves it for the rhythms it sets for her life and for the light it conducts to others.
Light has a great amount of power, besides the fact that it gives you the right to see through it. It makes things have depth. When you put different colors into light, then that light, when you're looking at the color, it has life. The design lines is where your eye will flow. If you draw it right, your eye will start in one particular spot and it'll travel through the panel, rather than leading you off the panel and looking at the picture on the wall next to it. So how you draw it, I like to try to think of it as bringing you throughout, maybe starting in the center, your eye focuses on something, and then it makes you circle the whole design. It makes your eyes just travel within the borders of it, rather than leaving it by too many lines doing this, you know. When the design is done, then the color just flows. This needs to be red. This needs to be green. So then we blow it up to a full size design, not color yet. And then we begin to choose color or texture, or the combination of the two, to create the beauty. Then every piece has to be individually cut. No pieces are made here that I haven't cut. I cut all the glass for every job. We all sort of do more than one thing, but we have some areas where we each have our expertise. David, my business partner, is also a designer. But he's the only one in the studio that does carved glass or etched glass. He is a master at it. George, who is our beveler, he's a custom beveler. He can do any kind of bevels that you may want, and he does it beautifully, and he's trained for a large number of years, and the best way to get good at something is to do it. We have 2 or 3 people in the back, and these change and rotate, but we have some wonderful assemblers that work with the different metals, and there's not a single step that we can hurry on. Sometimes we buff for 6 hours on a panel until the patina, the natural patina, just glows with a deep dark charcoal depth. The lead becomes deep. Everything is considered. Each piece, each line is considered before it's done. I want this piece to be exactly right for the person that is going to have it. I want this piece to be exactly right for the place it's going to be. So you study how much light comes into that room, whether it's on the south side of the house, the east side of the house, morning or evening light. The intensity of the light in the different seasons makes a difference. Of course, I don't study the house for a year before I make the glass, but you can feel how the light will be. We're going to go to the McWilliams house and see their front entryway. When she came in to see us, she was building her first home, but they had saved and they had planned, and even before they started the house, she came in to talk about her front entryway. So what it was a lot of clear bevels, which created very smooth lines. And then between the bevels and in part of the design, we put branches of magnolias. And they actually travel from the side lights across the doors and up into the transom. And even though the side lights are only about 12 inches wide, maybe 10, the circle is, you see arcs that, you know, in your mind, that circle is being completed. I made this one from, my daughter bought a house with her husband just a few months before Christmas. And she had 100 things she wanted me to do, but this was not one of them. I wanted to make a piece with sunflowers in it because that's what she reminds me of. She has a happy aura all the time. And so in her bathroom, she had a small window about 2 by 3, and I drew 3 sunflowers. Another one that I wanted you guys to look at was this church that we just finished right over here in Lafayette on Moss Street. It's St. Elizabeth Seton. Dave and I both worked on these quite diligently. We developed them. We did a beautiful piece for the corpus of Christ behind the altar. In the east and west window, in the actual body of the church, we've done some beautiful colors that are mainly a celebration of light. The west side goes more to evening light, and the east side more to morning light. Everything that I do, I think stained glass has taught me to be patient, because glass doesn't happen quickly. I think it's helped me to become a person who realizes that anything that's worth doing takes time. And I also have to say that because sun and light plays so much in it, I think it's brought me just a little bit closer to the reality that without this sunlight and God's actions, my glass would have no power at all. And I have to say prayer enters into my life because of that. I feel as though it's a little bit of worship each time I cut glass. It's joyous.
As Delta Hands continues, we meet a painter who is helping awaken America to the value of public art. And an artist who meticulously makes a highly reflective hyper-realism with watercolor.